You might have one of these coins in your pocket right now, and you don't even know it. I'm talking about ordinary-looking pennies and quarters that people spend every single day, but some of them are hiding a silent fortune, a life-changing opportunity, serious money just waiting to be discovered. These are not museum pieces. These are coins that have slipped through pockets, cash registers, and couch cushions for decades, and most people don't even look twice before spending them. That's the danger. That's the mistake. Because in this video, we're counting down 4 hidden treasure coins that could turn your loose change into quiet wealth overnight. And listen carefully. Each coin we reveal gets rarer, more shocking, and worth bigger bags of dollars than the last. So do not skip, do not blink, and whatever you do, do not spend these coins before you watch this entire video. Now let's start with the first silent fortune hiding in plain sight. The coin we're starting with today might look old, worn, even a little dirty. The kind of penny most people would toss into a tip jar without a second thought. But this is exactly how silent fortunes disappear. Because the 1,935 wheat penny with the S mint mark is not just another old coin. In fine condition, this little copper piece has stunned collectors and exploded in value, reaching around $182,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny worth serious money. And the scary part is, people are still spending these every single day without even realizing what just slipped through their fingers. Back in 1935, America was still deep in the shadows of the Great Depression. Jobs were scarce, banks had failed, and families were holding on to every penny they could find. Money was tight, and coins were being used hard, passed from hand to hand, pocket to pocket, day after day. The San Francisco Mint was producing pennies that year to help meet demand on the West Coast, but the conditions were far from ideal. Equipment was aging, pressure was high, and production quality wasn't always perfect. That's exactly why certain coins from that year became incredibly rare over time. The 1,935 S wheat penny wasn't treated like a treasure. It was treated like survival money. And that meant most of them were worn down, damaged, or lost forever. Now here's where things start to feel like hidden treasure. The design of this coin is simple, classic, and easy to overlook. On the front, you'll see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. A calm and serious expression, with the word liberty on one side and the date 1935 on the other. Just beneath the date, if you look closely, sits the tiny but powerful S mint mark. That small letter is what changes everything. That single detail turns an ordinary penny into a silent fortune. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the iconic wheat ears on both sides, curving upward like protective arms around the words 1 cent and United States of America. This is the classic wheat penny design that ran from 1909 to 1958, and millions were made. But not all of them survived, and the 1935S, in fine condition, is one of the coins that quietly vanished from circulation as the decades passed. The coin itself is made mostly of copper, about 95% copper, with a small blend of tin and zinc. It has that warm reddish-brown tone collectors love. It weighs about 3.11 grams, measures around 19 millimeters across, and has a thickness of about 1.5 millimeters. Nothing about those numbers sounds exciting. Nothing about the size or weight screams treasure. And that's exactly why people keep losing them. Because they look ordinary. They feel ordinary. But they are not ordinary at all. Stay with me here, because this detail changes everything. Most of the 1,935 S pennies were heavily circulated. They were used in everyday transactions during one of the toughest economic periods in American history. That means finding one today in fine condition or better is extremely difficult. The surfaces on these coins were often scratched, worn smooth, or exposed to moisture and chemicals. Many were cleaned, damaged, or simply thrown away. So when a genuine, uncleaned, original example shows up with natural wear but still strong details, collectors pay very close attention. Look closely at Lincoln's cheek and jawline. On a fine condition coin, you'll still see clear outlines and a bit of separation in the details. The wheat ears on the back should still show some inner lines. If those details are visible, you could be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. And remember, that tiny S mint mark below the date must be present. Without it, the value changes completely. Collectors are obsessed with coins like this because survival is rare. Most examples were lost to time, and the few that remain in collectible condition are being locked away in private collections. Many collectors refuse to sell them, waiting for prices to climb even higher. Demand keeps increasing, and every time one appears at auction, it creates excitement. Bidding wars happen, prices climb, and the legend of this silent fortune grows stronger. That's why the market has pushed this coin to around $182,000 in fine condition. Not because it's shiny, not because it's huge, but because it survived. It escaped decades of wear, damage, and careless spending. It stayed hidden, and now it represents life-changing wealth. So here's the warning you cannot ignore. If you ever come across a 1,935 penny with an S mint mark, do not spend this coin. Do not clean it. Cleaning destroys the natural surface and can wipe out most of its value in seconds. Original toning is precious. That natural look is what collectors want. And if you think you might have one, the smartest move is to send it for professional grading. A certified coin carries trust, and trust brings serious money. Check the date carefully. Look for that small S mint mark. Examine the details on Lincoln's face and the wheat ears. And be patient. Some people spend their entire lives searching for coins like this. Others find them by accident, in a jar, a drawer, or a handful of change. This is not fiction. This is how hidden treasure slips through everyday hands. But don't relax yet, because the next coin on this list is even rarer, even more shocking, and worth an even bigger silent fortune. Stay with me, because what comes next could completely change the way you look at every coin in your pocket. Most people don't even look at their quarters anymore. They drop them into parking meters, vending machines, tip jars, and they never think twice. But that's exactly how silent fortunes disappear. Because the 1,951 Washington quarter without a mint mark, especially the ones with that mysterious black layer and fine condition details, has shocked the collecting world with values reaching around $180,000. That's serious money hiding in something most people treat like pocket noise. And the scariest part, some of these coins are still out there, quietly moving through circulation, waiting to be spent and forgotten. Back in 1951, America was in the tense early years of the Cold War. The Korean War was draining resources, metal demand was rising, and the economy was shifting from post-World War II recovery into a new era of military production. The Philadelphia Mint was striking quarters without mint marks at the time, pushing out huge numbers to keep up with commerce. But when production runs are rushed and metals are processed under pressure, strange things can happen. And that's exactly what created some of the most mysterious and valuable coins from this era. At first glance, the 1,951 quarter without a mint mark looks completely normal. On the front, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington facing left, his hair tied back, the word Liberty above his head, and the date 1951 sitting just below his profile. There's no mint mark under the date, which means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Most people think that makes it common, but that assumption has cost people serious money. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the powerful eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches, with United States of America above and $quarter below. It's a bold, patriotic design that Americans carried through one of the most intense decades of the 20th century. The coin itself is made from a blend of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it that classic silver shine when it's not covered by time. It weighs about 6.25 grams, measures roughly 24.3 millimeters across, and has a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters. Again, nothing about those numbers sounds like a treasure. It feels like any other quarter, and that's exactly why people keep losing them. Now here's where the real suspense begins. Some 1951 Philadelphia quarters developed a dark, almost black surface layer over time. Many people think it's just dirt or damage. Some even clean it off, thinking they're making the coin look better. But that black layer is often natural toning, formed over decades as the silver reacts with its environment. And in certain cases, that original dark toning proves the coin was never cleaned, never polished, never messed with. That natural look is exactly what serious collectors want. Stay with me, because this detail changes everything. Most of the 1951 quarters were used heavily in daily transactions. They jingled through cash registers, soda machines, bus fares, and corner stores. Silver coins didn't stay pretty for long. They were scratched, worn, melted down, or lost. So, when a 1951 quarter without a mint mark survives in fine condition, with strong details and original dark toning, collectors pay attention. Look closely at Washington's hair. In fine condition, you should still see some separation in the strands above his ear. The eagle's feathers on the reverse should show visible structure, not just flat outlines. These small details are what separate an ordinary coin from a hidden fortune. Collectors chase these coins because survival in this condition is rare. Many examples have already been locked away in private collections, and owners aren't eager to sell. Demand keeps growing, especially as silver coins become harder to find in circulation. Every time one appears at a major auction, it creates excitement, and the price climbs higher. That's how this quiet quarter has reached around $180,000 in fine condition. Not because it's flashy, not because it's new, but because it survived decades of circulation, kept its original surfaces, and held onto its hidden wealth. So here's the warning you need to hear. If you find a 1951 quarter without a mint mark, especially one with a dark or black natural layer, do not spend this coin. Do not clean it. Cleaning strips away the original surface and can destroy most of its value instantly. That dark toning might look strange, but to collectors, it's a sign of authenticity and history. Check the date carefully. Look for the absence of a mint mark. Study Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. And if you think you've found something special, send it for professional grading. Certified coins bring trust, and trust brings serious money. Because this is not just a quarter. This is a silent fortune that people accidentally spend every day. And what's coming next on this list makes this coin look almost ordinary. The next one is rarer, more shocking, and worth an even bigger, life-changing treasure. Stay with me, because the next coin could be the one hiding in your pocket right now. The next coin on this list looks like something you'd ignore without a second thought. It's small, brown, maybe a little worn. The kind of penny people dump into jars or leave behind in a cup holder. But this is exactly how silent fortunes disappear. Because the 1928 wheat penny with the D mint mark in fine condition has shocked collectors, with values climbing to around $193,000. That's not pocket change. That's life-changing wealth hiding in something most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up. Back in 1928, America was living on the edge of a financial storm. The economy looked strong on the surface, the stock market was roaring, and people believed prosperity would last forever. But underneath, cracks were forming. Speculation was out of control. Banks were taking risks, and within a year, the Great Depression would hit like a tidal wave. Coins from this era were used heavily because everyday Americans depended on them for basic survival. When the crash came, people clung to every cent they could find, and pennies like the 1928D were pushed through constant circulation. The Denver Mint struck these coins during a time of intense demand. Machinery ran hard, quality control wasn't always perfect, and coins were sent straight into circulation with little concern for long-term preservation. No one in 1928 thought a penny could one day hold serious money. They were made to be spent, not saved. And that's exactly why so few survived in collectible condition. At first glance, the design is the classic wheat penny look people have seen 1,000 times. On the front, Abraham Lincoln faces to the right, calm and steady with the word liberty beside him and the date 1928 below. Just under that date sits the tiny but powerful D mint mark. That small letter is the difference between an ordinary coin and a hidden treasure. Flip it over and you'll see the two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. It's a simple, elegant design, but don't let that simplicity fool you. Coins like this have slipped through hands for nearly a century, and most of them didn't survive. The coin is made mostly of copper, about 95% copper, with small amounts of tin and zinc. It has that warm, reddish-brown tone collectors love when it's been left untouched. It weighs around 3.11 grams, measures about 19 millimeters across, and is roughly 1.5 millimeters thick. It feels light, ordinary, almost forgettable, and that's exactly why people keep losing them. Stay with me, because this detail changes everything. Most 1928D pennies were used heavily during the economic collapse that followed. They passed through grocery stores, train stations, and street vendors. They were exposed to dirt, moisture, and rough handling. Many were bent, scratched, or worn smooth. Others were melted down or simply lost. So when a genuine example survives in fine condition, with visible details still intact, it becomes incredibly rare. Look closely at Lincoln's cheek and jawline. In fine condition, you should still see clear outlines, not just a flat, smooth surface. On the back, the wheat ears should still show inner lines, not just faded shapes. These tiny details are what collectors hunt for. And of course, that small D mint mark below the date must be present. Without it, the value changes dramatically. Collectors are drawn to this coin because it represents survival. It lived through the Roaring '20s, the stock market crash, the Great Depression, and decades of circulation. Most coins from that era didn't make it, but the few that did, especially in fine condition, are being locked away in collections. Owners hold on to them, waiting for prices to climb higher. Demand keeps growing, and when one shows up at auction, bidding can turn intense very quickly. That's how this quiet penny has reached around $193,000 in fine condition. Not because it shines, not because it's big, but because it survived history, untouched and overlooked, carrying silent fortune in its copper surface. So here's the warning you cannot ignore. If you ever come across a 1,928 penny with a D mint mark, do not spend this coin. Do not clean it. Cleaning removes the natural surface and can destroy most of its value in seconds. That original toning, even if it looks dark or uneven, is exactly what collectors want. And if you think you've found one, send it for professional grading. Certified coins carry trust, and trust brings serious money. Check the date carefully. Look for the D mint mark. Study the details on Lincoln's face and the wheat ears. Be patient. Some people search their whole lives for coins like this. Others find them by accident, in a jar, a drawer, or a handful of change. This is not fiction. This is hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. And now, get ready, because the final coin on this list is the most shocking of them all. Rarer, more mysterious, and worth a silent fortune that makes everything you've heard so far feel small. Do not go anywhere, because the last coin could change everything. The last coin on this list is the one most people think they know. A 1,964 Washington quarter without a mint mark. It looks familiar, common, even boring to some eyes. Maybe it has a dark, black shade across the surface, the kind of coin people assume is just old or dirty. And that's exactly how silent fortunes vanish. Because this very coin, in fine condition with that original dark toning, has reached around $158,000. Serious money, hiding in something people still spend without a second thought. 1,964 was a turning point in American coin history. The country was facing a growing silver shortage. The economy was booming. People were saving silver coins, and the government knew the change in everyone's pockets was about to transform forever. This was the last year the United States produced quarters made from 90% silver for circulation. After 1,964 silver disappeared from everyday quarters and was replaced with cheaper metal. That makes every 1,964 quarter part of a historic final chapter. At the Philadelphia Mint, quarters were struck without mint marks that year. Millions were produced, but they were used heavily right away. People didn't think of them as treasures. They were used for bus fares, soda machines, laundromats, and grocery stores. And when silver prices started rising, many were melted down or pulled from circulation. The few that survived decades of handling, especially in fine condition with original surfaces, became much harder to find. On the front of the coin, you'll see George Washington's portrait facing left, with Liberty above his head and the date 1964 below. There is no mint mark under the date, which means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Many people think that means it's common, but in certain conditions, with original surfaces and strong details, it becomes something entirely different, a hidden treasure. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the powerful eagle with wings stretched wide, clutching arrows and olive branches. Above the eagle reads, United States of America, and below it, $quarter. It's a bold, classic design that Americans carried through one of the most important coin transitions in history. This coin is made from 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it that rich silver color beneath the surface. It weighs about 6.25 grams, measures roughly 24.3 millimeters across, and is around 1.75 millimeters thick. It feels solid, real, and historic. But to most people, it still feels like just another quarter. Now, here's where things get interesting. Some 1,964 quarters developed a dark, almost black shade over the decades. Many people mistake this for damage or dirt. Some even clean the coin, thinking they're improving it. But that dark layer is often natural toning, created as the silver reacts to air, humidity, and storage conditions over time. And collectors love original toning. It tells a story. It proves the coin hasn't been polished or stripped of its history. Stay with me, because this detail changes everything. Most 1,964 quarters were heavily circulated. They were used daily, scratched, worn, and sometimes melted down when silver prices climbed. So finding one today in fine condition, with strong details and original dark toning, is far rarer than people think. Look closely at Washington's hair above the ear. In fine condition, you should still see clear strands, not just a smooth surface. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers should still show detail. These small features are what collectors search for. They separate an ordinary coin from a silent fortune. Collectors chase this coin because it represents the end of an era, the last year of circulating silver quarters. Many examples have already been locked away in collections, and owners are holding on to them, waiting for values to climb. Demand keeps rising, and whenever one appears at auction in desirable condition, excitement builds fast. That's how this quiet quarter has reached around $158,000 in fine condition. Not because it looks flashy, not because it's rare at first glance, but because it survived the silver melt, decades of circulation and careless spending. It stayed hidden, carrying serious money in plain sight. So here's the warning you need to hear. If you ever come across a 1,964 quarter without a mint mark, especially one with a dark or black natural shade, do not spend this coin. Do not clean it. Cleaning removes the original surface and can destroy most of its value instantly. That dark toning may look strange, but to collectors, it's a sign of authenticity. Check the date carefully. Look for the absence of a mint mark. Study the details in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. And if you believe you've found something special, send it for professional grading. Certified coins bring trust, and trust brings serious money. Because this is not just a quarter. This is the last silver whisper of an entire era. A hidden fortune people still spend without realizing it. And now think about this. 4 coins, 4 silent fortunes, each one hiding in plain sight. Each one capable of turning ordinary pocket change into life-changing wealth. How many of these have already slipped through your hands? How many are still sitting in jars, drawers, or old wallets, waiting to be discovered? So before you spend another coin, stop and look. Check your change. Search your old piggy banks. Go through that jar on the shelf, because the next silent fortune could be sitting right in your pocket. And if this video opened your eyes to the hidden treasure around you, stay with crazy, valuable coins, because there are more rare coins out there, more shocking discoveries, and more life-changing opportunities hiding in plain sight. Your next coin could be the one that changes everything.